Hey everyone, it is Wednesday, and of course, you know what that means in our expert series. That means we bring back Anna Kelly. How you doing, Anna?
I'm great today, Michael. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I got to tell you, obviously, I follow you online, your social media, and you announced something. I want to call it Monday that I think is going to be game changing for hundreds of people, and that is you have committed to doing some group coaching. And I've known for a long time, right? We did your goals back in January that was kind of on the list. And I was like, ooh, ouch, stay away, because you're gonna lose time with family and all these other things. But now we're in May, you've balanced it out, you've created a chunk of time to do it. And I know it's a passion of yours. So I want to just say congratulations. And folks, if you've enjoyed Anna Kelly here every week, she is now creating a coaching group program just for you. So congratulations, Anna.
Thank you so much, Michael. I'm really, really excited about it. And as we've talked about before, I've had some one-on-one coaching students over time, and I was getting ready to really scale it and offer my help to lots of people a year ago. And what I found, because I hadn't quite retired yet, I was still juggling my job and my family and their sports and and helping people and doing my own rental properties and scaling multifamily. And I had some really great advisors say, Anna, you've got to slow down. You've got to
Yeah.
take some time for you and enjoy this retirement a little bit. And so I really took that to heart. I know from doing it so long that real estate really is a lifetime deal. It's
Yeah.
a marathon. It's not a sprint. And I needed to take that time to just say, let me really enjoy this financial freedom for a year, the freedom of my time, and enjoy my kids, and then figure out how to do it in a way that I can give fully myself to really deep diving with people without it creating more stress on my family's time. So, I still was going to take a little bit longer, but Michael, given where we are in our economy today, it's so like in some ways what I experienced through 2008 and 2009. And it may, quite frankly, be worse for our economy than 2008 and 2009 was. But what I realize is the time is now to look at the opportunities that we might see, unlike many that we've had today, to
Mhm.
put aside our fear and to figure out how we can mitigate risk, mitigate the uncertainty, and really use what we know and use the opportunities to take some time to really grow wealth, because wealth is made in the downturns.
Mhm.
When you can buy right, you can take advantage of the opportunities. And so I know I'm passionate about it and excited about it. I know that I help people that are just where I was 10 years ago, 11 years ago, really create true financial freedom and wealth through this cycle and what's coming. And I'm just so excited and passionate about being able to help people to change their trajectory of their finances and their lives. So
Yeah.
I knew I had to do it now.
Yeah. No, and again, everyone needs to, why don't you just, first off, we'll do this 3 or 4 times during the interview. How can people reach out to you if they want to learn more about your group coaching?
Send me an email to info@reimom.com. You can also go to my website at reimom.com, learn a little bit more about me. My coaching programs are there. But send me an email and let's have a conversation. I'll send you the details of the different options, because there's 3 different options for coaching depending on what works best for you. And then we'll have a conversation and see if it's a right fit.
Very cool. And again, we'll do that again. I'll actually make info@reimom.com the first line in the description in the video. So it'll be there as well. Uh,
Awesome.
so again, I love that you're doing it now, because one of the things that I keep telling folks is, you've read my book, right? I had 2 pause periods. I was a rather consistent buyer of rental properties for 15 or 20 years. But there were 2 periods where I paused because the market freaked me out. One was at the peak, right? When prices whirled over, because I'd already 1031 into apartments, but I couldn't buy any more houses. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? And then the other one is at the bottom. We are now rolling over. I'm unquestionably rolling over. The only question is length and depth. It's
Yes.
happening. So
Yes.
having someone who's been through that, who's a go-giver, who's knows the single family or residential and the commercial multifamily market like yourself, somebody who has went from nothing to financial freedom. I am really glad that you're stepping up and doing this now. I think you're going to help so many people. It will both be impactful for them, but I bet it will be impactful for you as well.
Absolutely, Michael. We've talked a little bit about it before, but for listeners that don't know me very much, I really did come from very humble beginnings. I grew up in Section 8 housing, and I didn't have anybody to come alongside me that really understood money and that could teach me how to utilize it. And so it was a very long process and journey for me to learn and to learn as I go. And I really didn't have mentors to help me. The one mentor I hired in 2009 ended up being a fraud, and it jaded me. It destroyed my faith in people for a while, and I didn't take action for a few years because I was just so jaded of fraudulent people out there that cared more about money than people. And so for me, I had to learn it on my own until I did it, and then I got some mentors to help me scale it to the next level. But I just have this passion to help people to get out of poverty, to get
Yeah.
out of being a slave to a job that you don't enjoy, to being able to really create freedom in your life to do what is important to you. And money and real estate is just a tool to create that financial freedom by being able to have money coming in that you're no longer actively trading your time for dollars. So I am just so excited to be able to teach other people that they really can change their lives if they just jump in, educate themselves now, learn how to mitigate their fears and risks, because they really can do it. And all that we had against us, financially, anybody that has a really good plan, who learns about the markets and mitigates risk and is determined to do it, can do it. So I'm honored to be able to come along some people and to be able to help them to create that.
Yeah. And again, folks, the real estate gurus, the people trying to sell this or that course, they come out in times like this. They haven't done it. They
Yeah.
don't have the history. One of the things that I love about Anna and my story is we both came from humble beginnings. We both held on to our W-2 jobs, which just goes against all the gurus, right? All the gurus say, quit your job, hustle, hustle, entrepreneur, entrepreneur, hustle, hustle. No, we're like, no, bust your butt during the day, even if you don't like your job, because
Right.
you are trying to build freedom. And oh, by the way, you need to be able to get a loan. You have to qualify, right? Having a
Yes.
down payment, not a bad thing. And being able to hold through the ups and downs, right? When you have a surprise water heater or roof leak or eviction or whatever, sometimes it's nice to have your W-2 money to kind of fill that hole so you're not uber stressed, right?
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that you said that, because so many people that I listened to that I really was like, they just don't realize what they're saying. We're like, jump in 2 feet, let go of everything and just do it. Well, when the economy is against you and lending is against you and you don't have ability, a lot of people can lose their shirt and really destroy their lives because they took so much risk without really thinking about what they were doing. And so, if you're a young single guy, you're living at home in your parents' basement, your job is a, $8 an hour job, sure, I can help you go all in because you've got a backstop and support. But if you're like us, where you are married and you have a spouse and you have, for me, I had children,
Yeah.
I can't take a significant amount of risk. I had to do it very slowly, methodically, cautiously, mitigate the risk, and then take it. And for me, looking back, I probably did hold on to my job a little too long. But that, if anything, should show you that I'm very, very careful, and I'd rather be cautious and know that I'm not making a decision that could undo and ruin everything I worked so hard to build, but that really was going to be safe for my family for the long term. And so I would rather people do it slowly and methodically and conservatively and safely, still take risks, but let me help you, show you how to mitigate it, then go all in, because it's a scary world when you go all in. You don't have knowledge, money, network, people to help you through it.
Yeah, folks, again, right? The social media where the hype of these folks talking about this or that piles of cash, and it's not real for most folks. What Anna and I are both examples of is being conservative, executing, learning, doing deals. And then, the journey takes, it took me 15 years to get to financial freedom, maybe held on a year or two longer, like Anna was talking about. But that's how conservative we are, right? We realized that we both had families, and I certainly wasn't going to put my family at risk for this. This is about doing something uncomfortable, because again, we had to sacrifice, live below our means, all of that stuff for 15 years. Um, and you know, I tell people now I bought 20 years, right? Because I left at 45, and most people leave at 65. So
Yeah.
you know, it can work. But again, what I'm really focusing on now is telling people just get to 4, right? Because sometimes I have found when you tell the financial freedom story, it feels too big, too far, good for you, but I can't get there. So I've
Right.
now measured it back to, you know what, let me just help you get to 4 rental properties. And when we get to 4, we can stop and talk, right? Because maybe you're done. That's okay. Maybe you want
Yeah.
10. That's okay too. But that's something that you might want to kind of adapt in your training, is creating that first goal that's people can feel is touchable. Because sometimes our
Absolutely.
story of financial freedom is it's just too big and a journey too far.
Absolutely. And that is what I take people through this first 12 weeks of the course, is really start out where you are. Let's learn the fundamentals and show you how one rental at a time truly is how you do it.
Yeah.
And for some people, that one rental is going to be a single family house.
Yeah.
For some people, that rental might be a 4 unit. For
Maybe.
some people, if they have more cash available to them, it might be a 10 or 20 unit right off the bat.
Could be.
I don't recommend that people jump straight into syndication. And I know that, some of my friends that are in syndication are going to go, oh, that's the slow way.
Ah,
You'll make so much more money the fast way, jumping into huge deals. But with huge deals comes huge money and huge risk. And
yeah.
for people that don't have any experience with real estate or very little, you can look for a track of, the big growth, but start actually taking action and failing small. Because
Yeah.
the reality is you're going to fail. My
Yeah.
first flip was a failure. But I learned more from that failure that I view as one of my biggest successes because of what I learned from it than I did from other things. And it helped to make some mistakes on the small scale when I'm kind of taking, dipping my toes in the water and trying, but I'm truly not an expert at that time. I made some mistakes, but they didn't hurt me that badly. They didn't hurt our family significantly because we increased our knowledge and increased our deal size as we went.
Mhm.
And so again, my 12-week program is about showing you how can you start small. Let's make it realistic, show you how to do it on a small scale. And then if you want a one coach and you say, I'm ready to go all in, I think I'm ready to go deeper, I don't want to start with 1 or 2 or 4, then I'll coach you individually on looking at your skills and your time and your money and your resources and your network, because all those things play a huge role into what niche you should go into, what size. Some people might be great at money and finance, but they never want to swing a hammer. And other people may be like, it's life-giving to me to work on a property. I want to swing the hammer and I don't know finances. Well, I'm going to give those 2 people very different recommendations about how to get started. Because for me, real estate is all about marrying what is your financial goal with what are you good at and passionate about, and marrying those things with the opportunities that are out there. And for some people, it may be singles. For some, it's going to be large multifamily. For some, it's going to be self-storage. There's different things out there. And so my goal really is to come alongside of people wherever you are and to say, this is what I can tell you about investments and about risk and about financial goals and about the different types of rental real estate that might marry those things and create the fastest track for you personally to create that financial freedom and wealth. And one thing that I really am excited about, Michael, and I know if you looked back, you'd wish the same thing. While there is a lot that we only learn by doing, and I'm thankful that my journey had a lot of hurdles, because the hurdles is what made me stronger, built my character, built my wisdom. I would have loved to have been able to do all of that in a faster way.
Yes.
And so when you have mentors that have been there and done it, we're able to help you to avoid the mistakes that we made that took us a while to recover from, while teaching you what to do and how to mitigate it. And so I truly believe that while it took me 10 years after the crash to really retire and create the financial freedom, I know we can help people to do it in a far more compressed way, given the tools that we've learned from the mistakes that we've made. And so that's what my coaching program really is all about.
Yeah, You said it exactly right. I mean, one of the reasons I wrote the One Rental at a Time book was because I wanted to document the slow process I went on, right? It took us 15 years. And as I point out in the book, there were several mistakes that I made early, which when compounded over time meant my portfolio was much, much smaller than it could have been.
Right.
Because basically I was wasting cash on fixer uppers when I had the credit in the payment for a cleaner property. So
Right.
yeah, there's just so many things. And again, the other thing I will point out, if you learn real estate today in a changing market, right? 12 weeks, just to bring up the group program again, the timeline is probably the best I've seen in 20 years because it is changing every week, right?
Yes.
For example, all the changes to forbearance, it went from being, oh, by the way, you owe it all month 4 to, oh, by the way, we'll make it a second. And oh, by the way, you can't refi or buy, but oh, now you can. All of these things are changing week by week, and all of those have an impact on the market.
Yes.
And if you can learn during these 12 weeks, the beauty of learning real estate investing, as both you and I teach, is it's a lifetime skill. Once you've learned it, you can transfer it to any market. It doesn't deteriorate as you get older, not like a golf swing or a basketball player or whatever, right? That's the beauty of real estate investing is I have not slowed down after retirement. I've sped up. So
Yeah.
use this unique time, which is probably the best time in 20 years. Right? If I had to pick a 12-week window, it would be right now because we are clearly over the peak. There's all this external impacts and changes. And then, states are opening up at different rates. And are the sellers going to list first? Are the buyers going to come back first? Are mortgage rates going to go up? It's messy, but it also should be exciting because you can see how little changes impact your market, right?
Right. And it's really about learning the fundamentals. Once you learn and you understand the fundamentals and you understand what is a good deal, what is a risky deal, how much should I pay for it, how should I finance it? When you learn those things, then even if a piece of that changes and you are thrown a hurdle, you can say, hey, this is the hurdle I have to get over, but these fundamentals I'm so sure of that I'm building the confidence that I can take action and buy the next deal.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, Michael, if you understand, how to value a 4-unit property or how to value a commercial property, let's say a 10 unit, how the value is created, how much it's going to cost you to run it, what your rents are typically going to be. Now you might think, okay, this is the best way to finance a deal. Well, that may change. You might have to find some other way to get financing. And as these loan programs change, you're going to say, okay, I have a deal now. I need to get funding in the next 60 or 90 days. What are the programs today? You educate yourself on it. You pivot a little bit and you find the right program, but you know that you're buying the right deal. If you don't get educated on the fundamentals, then when all these things change, it seems like risk. And a lot of those things can really be mitigated. And it may be that 90% of it is the same as what it was before this crash. And the 10% that you have to mitigate, we can come alongside and show you these are your options. Like when my bank said no and financing dried up,
I remember,
this is what I did. This is why it took me too long. And here's how I got really good at getting creative and the alternative money sources that I found, or the alternative creative financing sources that I found. So those are the kind of things that you're going to learn. And once you learn those skills, you can really jump over any hurdle with almost any real estate deal. Now, and if there's too many hurdles, then you let that deal go and there will be another one. But it's about learning the foundation and the fundamentals, and then learning to pivot, small pivots as the market changes to figure out how to make a deal the best deal for you.
Yeah. And I again, just the fundamentals, the simplicity. Real estate investing is not hard. Too many gurus overcomplicate it, throw buzzwords around so that you have to, they upsell you and they do all these things. For me, I believe real estate investing boils down to one question. And I've said it 100 times, if not 1,000 by now. It all boils down to understanding your market, what a bad, average, good, or great deal is. Every market, every asset of every day has an average deal. Your job is to figure out what it is. It takes research and daily commitments to looking. But once you figure it out, all you do is good or great deals. It's that
Yeah.
simple, right?
Yeah.
98% of the stuff is listed as average or bad. You got to go
Right.
find that 2%. And
Right.
that's it for me. Yeah.
True. And I think a lot of the guru coaching programs, and I warn people about this even when I wasn't coaching, when I had my program shut down. If either they make it too complicated to where they think I could never do this without you, and then they're going to pay you the big bucks to do it, or they oversimplify it and they say, oh, you're going to be rich in no time. You're going to retire from I'm going to show you how to retire from your job in 6 months to a year. And then what they give you is very basic information without any real hand holding and helping you, guide you through it. And I've seen those programs and they come out of the woodwork in a downturn. And
Yeah.
even though my timing is, in a downturn, there's a reason for that. And I've been helping and coaching people through ups and down cycles. You've just got to make careful that the people that are trying to coach you, that they really have the experience and the integrity, that they're going to really teach you how to do it, not just give you the info. Because quite frankly, Michael, most people can pick up basic information from bigger pockets, from great books. I've read some great books and I got started reading a book and doing what it said. So
Yeah.
you can get started, but when you hire a coach, you're hiring someone who's going to really guide you and help you not to make the mistakes and to understand all the things that aren't in the book in real life that happen that you've got to be able to navigate. So being successful in real estate is more than having the information. It's being able to navigate through the real life of how do you apply that, and when do those standard rules work and when do they not, and when do you need to throw them out the window. So just be very, very careful. The coach that I hired in 2009, it was one of the first real estate webinars that were selling an event that I had ever seen. And I flew to Dallas. I met this person. I figured she had integrity because a huge, well-known real estate group had put her on and started the event. And I did a little background check. I went on Google. I thought I did a background check. I Googled her name and I saw press releases that she had done all these great big deals. She had been responsible for putting together hundreds and hundreds of units of multifamily deals. Well, I went to the course. She knew her stuff. I knew residential and I owned a 4-unit in a commercial building. And I'm like, yeah, she's talking about cap rate and she's talking about NOI and income and returns. And yes, I get all that. She seemed really, really smart. Well, I didn't find out till later that she was a real estate agent, but she faked her CCIM credentials. She said she had CCIM, which is like a really difficult designation to get for commercial brokers. And she didn't have it. And her course was ripped off from Dave Lindahl and some others. And so I started discovering things about her over time. But if you just looked at her on Google, you think, man, this woman's done a lot. And so I was very jaded at how easy it is for people to fake their credentials on the internet. And it turned out, long story short, what she did is she bought a bunch of domains and she issued her own press releases through other companies' website domains. And I found it out. And thank God I found it out before I was going to go work for her full time. And thank God I found it out early. But I was just like, something wasn't right. And so you have to be very, very, very careful who you choose to work with. That it's not somebody, if they say I own 4,000 doors in real estate, that they've actually have big ownership in it and have operated. If they signed on to help somebody raise $200,000 on a 500 unit deal, but they've never operated, they didn't put their own cash in the deal, they don't understand the fundamentals, they better not be the people that you're training to coach you and mentor you. So you've got to dig deep. I want the students that want to work with me to dig deep. Ask me tough questions. Ask me about my background and how I did it, what I really make. And, already coming out, and I'm already seeing lots of big ticket courses, even much more expensive than mine, where I know for a fact some of those people just got started in multifamily. They've helped raise capital for a few deals. They've paid a company to create a really sexy, nice website. And they're out there like, ooh, I did it twice. I'm going to help you. You've got to be really careful of that. And it's not because I don't admire that they want to create an income stream and help somebody that's maybe one step below them. But if you're going to pay big dollars, it better be somebody that has experience. There's a risk reward continuum, and there's a dollar continuum. If somebody's saying they're going to coach you one-on-one and it's $200, they're probably not going to be able to coach you very much. They're going to charge more. If someone's going to charge you $50,000, and let me tell you, there's a lot of one-year coaching programs right now that are $40,000 to $50,000.
Wow.
That's a lot. You know, a coaching program should really show that someone is going to value you, take time away from their family, really pour into you, and then compensate them for the value of their time. But really, you're paying for the value of their experience and their wisdom and their ability to help you to not make the mistakes that you're going to make if you just go out and read books. So vet the people that you coach with. And I have other coaches that I will recommend people for certain things. So somebody came to me, for example, Michael, and said, I want to be in your coaching program, and I want you to teach me how to syndicate by just being a capital raiser and create a fund of funds. And I said, listen, I'm not your girl. I have syndicated deals. I'm asset managing deals. I've raised a lot of money. But I think the way that most people are telling you to raise money today violates SEC rules and it violates investor. When I'm going to say, you know what the best thing for you to do is? It's to go hire one of these SEC attorneys and let them teach you the compliance and how you can do it legally and ethically. And then I've got some people that actually raise money legally and ethically. I'm going to refer you to their coaching program because I know they have integrity. So that's the kind of thing that you need in somebody that can say, let me talk to you and see where you are. And am I the best person to get you there? And if I am, yes, it's going to be expensive because I'm taking a lot of time away from my family. But I know that I'm going to give you what you need. If I can't help you, I'm going to send you somewhere else to somebody that can. And that's what's really important for you to ask as a coach. So there's other coaches that I love that have integrity, that have a lot of real experience that I'm happy to refer people to if I'm not a good fit for you, or if my personality just isn't what you're looking for. You know, some people want to 10x rah, you know, go all in. Doesn't matter how many hours you work, your family will be okay. You know, one day you'll be able to spend time with them. If that's what you want, I'm not your girl, because I've done it and I've tried to balance it. And I know that there's a more life-giving, freedom, joyful way to do it. And it took me a long time to figure that out. So, you know, there's all kinds of things you have to do to figure out who's the right coach for you. But by all means, check them out, check their background, ask the difficult questions, ensure that your personalities are aligned. And I know that I can help a lot of people.
Yeah, there's no question. Yeah, there's no question you're going to help a lot of people. And the other thing that's nice is we've been talking now, I think our first conversation was like 18 months ago, just our first conversation. So I have a playlist on my channel just for you, right? I'm sure it has 15 hours probably. So if people want to check you out, they can go back and watch 15 hours of interviews where we talk about wide-ranging topics long before you thought about doing this coaching program. So if you want to learn about someone, if you want to learn about Anna and her integrity and listen to her story, our first interview was her story of going from nothing to something. She still was working. Then I think our second interview was either the day after, the day before you left your W-2 job. And then we've started these expert series, and they've been going on for 30 weeks or whatever it's been. So
it's been amazing.
The best place I can tell you to go is go look at Anna Kelly's playlist on this channel, and, you know, bring a cup of coffee and check her out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then the other thing I want to say is you're giving back in a way that I'm not comfortable doing, right? You're doing one-on-one coaching or group coaching and giving up hours of your time. And you need to be compensated for that. I chose to spend 10 weeks or whatever it was a year ago putting together an online course about everything I did, and I sell it for $200. But I just sell it like a CD, right? Over and over, and it's just what I do. I'm not really giving up hours of my time because that's not what I want to do, right? I do my thing in the morning, then I'm done. So again, right, if you want the coaching and you want to ask the hard questions, you're going to go to someone like Anna Kelly. I do have a Facebook group, and now I do Saturday live streams, but it's not what you're doing. And I applaud you for that. And I'm going to watch from afar because I'm not comfortable giving up those hours.
It is a hard balance. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, right now my kids are home and we have the summer, and we're going to plan to spend our summer time together and really make making memories. And last summer I basically shut down a lot in order to be able to do that. And that time for me is very sacred, and it's why I have to charge for it. And I said, why am I doing 12 weeks right now when it's the summer? But the reality is, this is the time to help people. I really, truly believe that this is the time where the opportunities are. So what would be better for me personally is wait till my kids are back in school at the end of August into September and start then, and do it during the day when they're gone. But I believe so strongly that this is the time for people to get started, that I'm going to make those sacrifices. And I really, truly am not going to be doing this 12-week thing over and over and over again. I'm going to do it right now because I believe this is the time to do it, and let people come in and learn now so that they can be ready for the opportunities to come. And I might do it, once a year or something like that. The individualized coaching, you can jump in at another time, but if you want the live Q&A for the 12 weeks and then individualized after that, this is the time. And I am making those sacrifices because it's important to me to be able to help other people. But I may not be doing it long-term, aside from the one-on-one coaching.
Very, very cool. Well, Anna, I wish you nothing but success. I was so happy when I saw you were opening that. And I did chuckle, right? Because I think the first message was, I'm gonna hold it to 10. And I think I responded, good luck keeping it under 100. All right. Well, you have a wonderful day, okay?
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure to talk with you. And again, if anybody is interested, you can email me at info@reimom.com.
Awesome. info@reimom.com. Thank you.